Sup, Soup? This is Nick.
Crispy.
And Tyler.
And together, we are Weeb Soup.
Woo!
And in this episode, we're going to start a little bit of a series where we're going to talk about some element users. And today, we're going to start off strong, and we're going to do the fire thing. So,
yeah.
basically, people that are obviously fire users, I did have a couple in mind that I thought explosions would be cool, but we're going to leave that for another day, I assume. But
Yeah.
for fire users, there's so many good ones. There's so many anime, so many shows out there that just have literally a perfect personification of fire users. So you have anything from like Naruto with literally, I guess, almost anyone from the Konoha. And then you also have
Especially Uchiha.
yeah. Well, especially most Leaf users have some affinity to fire if they can use multiple or they're born with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, almost every single Uchiha that's ever been on screen will be a fire user.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as that goes, that leads me to my first entry on the list. One of my favorite fire users was probably Itachi. He kind of came on strong, gave us some Amaterasu, and gave us an unextinguishable fire unless the user says so or dies. And then, that's like basically the only thing that puts it out. Unless you like saw off your arm. Or
and
use...
It technically didn't go out. It just was an arm on fire, now on the ground.
You're right. Or if you have like a QB cloak like Naruto did and kind of peel it off yourself.
Yeah.
But those are like the only exceptions that I've ever seen survive Amaterasu.
Sasuke forcibly turning it off again when he went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, or Danzo saying "oh shit" and closing an eye. But But other than fuck Danzo, I guess my next entry on this list is actually going to be one of my favorite villains in all of anime so far, and it's going to be Dobby from My Hero Academia. Apparently, his flames are every bit as potent as Endeavor's Prominence Burst.
Mm-hmm. And that's his strongest move, right?
And that is his strongest move. And the only thing is that Dobby burns so hot that he burns himself very rapidly. And that's kind of part of Endeavor's whole, like, breeding program that he did with that poor lady.
Which, speaking of, it's really weird that out of everything, Dobby was able to withstand super cold temperatures, giving his fire use.
I did think that was pretty interesting. I think that was probably also... Oh. Well,
that's
spoiler alert, Dobby's hella OP. But otherwise, I mean, I never really expected them to actually give him that sort of treatment simply because, like, his weakness is his heat. But it also makes sense because, like I was alluding to earlier with Endeavor's breeding program, kind of hate that, he eventually bred Todoroki that has almost as potent of a fire user with ice to keep his body temperature.
Right.
So that would make sense that if Dobby is around an ice user, he's just going to be more potent.
Yeah.
So something that I would like to see, hopefully Horikoshi goes, I want to see Dobby team up with an ice user of some sort. Because I feel like two people that were much more potent on their own than Todoroki is within each one together would probably be the next step from what Todoroki can do.
Yeah.
But
one can do extreme heat, the other one can do extreme cold. The thing is, though, that ice person would kind of have to be the opposite of Dobby. Super strong ice, but very vulnerable to fire attacks, or able to withstand extreme heat temperatures.
Oh, sure. I would imagine that there'd probably be an equal trade-off there. I mean, that would just have to be like that in good writing.
Brother. He is the ice user in the family.
Well,
the forgotten twin of Toya.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Well, thankfully, we already know that it's confirmed. But again, spoiler alert on some of that content there. And then for my my last one, I'm gonna break away from anime, but only slightly, and I wanted to talk about Zuko a little bit.
He actually made it to my honorable mention list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted.
he was, and I'm just thinking simply because he was able to take Azula on,
Oh, that
who
fight scene.
took the fire bending to the next level and used lightning bending.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Casually
was able.
used lightning bending.
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy part too. But that's lightning. But he was able to take it, spin it, and redirect it. And he was just a firebender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
With
dude
mild training from his uncle.
Who was the
That's
best
great. But the dude is
character.
nuts. Right. Yeah. And
We're doing
it's
Zuko.
just.
I'm one to throw Iroh out there. It's not even my turn. I'm throwing Iroh out there. Fucking.
Well, he deserves it.
He does.
He deserves all that
Wouldn't know
attention.
half the
He's
shit
my
he does if it
background
wasn't
right now.
for Iroh. So
Oh yeah, and I mean,
by proxy,
bless Iroh.
that's Iroh.
Rip Iroh. Uncle Iroh forever.
He will always be living in the spirit realm, just drinking some tea.
Yep. So my honorable mention here is Iroh, I guess. But I mean,
Can we just make this an Iroh only talk now? Just
talk about
everybody fangirl about Iroh.
the perfect male role model.
Yes.
One of the things I love most about Zuko's character as a whole is I grew up watching Hook, so hearing Rufio do Zuko and seeing all of that character development that he did go through, just fucking love Dante Pisco as a voice actor.
Oh,
Anything
yeah.
that he has done has just been perfect. And that's going to be my last little tidbit in there.
And then I guess my actual honorable mention was going to be Madara. I couldn't not throw him in there somewhere.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say it that way is because we really only get to see a couple of his fire style jutsus.
Yeah.
But Majestic Destroyer Flame on its own took an entire fucking regiment of shinobi using water wall just to stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Anyways. So yeah, all in all, still gonna go with the Naruto characters being my favorite element users in general, because the show's just that good. But yeah, I'll say Madara is gonna be my actual honorable mention on this one. And that's just because we
fair.
don't see his feats as much as we deserved, or he deserved.
I want the one off of just Iroh's adventures.
Ooh.
We got the Tales of Iroh, which was the greatest portion of an episode in the entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender. But also, just imagine his tales whenever he was a general, freaking plowing through nations, and then coming to realize that, like, oh, I'm wrong. Like, imagine that show would be amazing.
Watching the moment of catharsis on that man's face when he realized that he was kind of being a fuck would be super awesome. And also seeing him antagonist version of Iroh,
or criminal Iroh,
would be a very interesting
cool.
transition of his character.
Cool.
And we would actually get to see a lot of his character building. But yeah,
right. I guess I'll take over next. I'm gonna spend a little bit less time talking about each one individually, just so I can cover everybody I got. But the Vermilion siblings from Black Clover, Marileona, Fuegoleon, Leopold, all super badass. Marileona just being a genius at freaking using magic from all around. Fuegoleon being the legitimate fire spirit, like, I guess proxy, but like being able to use the fire spirit.
Salamander.
And then Leopold just because he's Asta's rival and he's got such a good spirit, like one of the many.
right.
Shinra Kusakabe, love.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot him. And then the captain of the 7th, I want to say. Benahime, yeah. Both of them from Fire Force.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I heard Captain from the 7th and then Benahime, and I am not as up to par with Fire Force in general. So I was like, hold on a second.
It's something like, or Benimaru, something like that.
I think so. Benny for short.
Benny, yeah. But dude's awesome, and Shinra's powers are super cool. I mean,
my god.
I won't expel too much because you're not caught up, but just the being able to Devil's Foot.
I'm not one that's worried about spoilers.
All right.
I'm there for the adventure more so than the where we're
like
at.
Firepower that push you past the speed of light and like back in time, but also to a different location. Ridiculous. I loved it. Eskenor, I don't know if you guys want to count him, because he's technically sun powers, sun based. He creates tiny suns and just blows people up.
For the
with
most part,
We
most
can do
people
three.
would associate the sun with fire. So.
Yeah, and even then, heat, fire can also be considered the same thing. Like when Eskenor's at full power, he's basically melting everything around him because he's just radiating that much heat and fire as a whole.
Right.
Right. Yeah, Eskenor is one of my favorites from Seven Deadly Sin. It gets a bad rap for the animation, which is admittedly horrible, but I do love that show and the story. You've already covered Todoroki. I really feel like you're going to get this one, so I'm not going to take it from you, but I'll give my honorable mentions to Yamamoto and Parkalipio. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Parkalipio, whether from God of High School, whether he is a fire user or not. I couldn't really figure it out, but his Ninetales powers resemble fire quite a bit.
Typically, the Ninetales spirits or demons are typically fire users in general. Like Kurama's even, it's his in Naruto, Kurama's shown to be amongst like fire and stuff like that on his introduction and just being general force of destruction, which is what fire is typically in an animated production like that.
I'm thinking Park would count, but Yamamoto, I don't like him as a character, but man, that firepower.
We're talking about Captain in Bleach, right?
Captain in Bleach, yeah. Whenever he's literally willing to just destroy every single Soul Reaper in one move, hated that, but the fact that he could do it, incredible.
Oh yeah, he was like one of the ones that's like on the ascendant level whenever he uses his Bankai.
Oh my god, his Bankai alone is insane. You haven't seen his Bankai yet,
no.
But there's a reason he is head captain at that current moment. He has the power to hold that title and damn anyone who tries to mess with it.
Right.
And he's just gonna get roasted alive.
And that's why Aizen was trying like hell just to get through the Hogyoku stuff before he had to do anything with
He came up with his own plan because he's like, this is gonna be a problem. I know this is gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't want the smoke.
I know. But yeah, I'll have one more if you don't get it, but I fully trust that you're gonna get this one. I don't want to take it away from you. Go ahead.
All right. Well, for mine, I'm gonna immediately start this off hot and go Natsu.
Hot.
Of course.
Exactly. Natsu. When I first found
like fire. Continue.
When I first found Natsu, it was at a pretty dark point in my life, and I really resonated strongly with his character as a whole. I love the way he uses his fire. I love everything about it. And the more I think about Natsu as a character, the more I think of like a little fight between him and Yamamoto. And I'm wondering who would kind of walk out of that, but that's a topic for another day. However, I have so much more. I want to go with Alibaba from Magi, Kingdom of Magic.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen anything.
I haven't
seen any Magi.
Highly suggest watching.
It's on my watch list, honestly. But
especially if you're into magic using.
Yeah. This one, his Jin equipped. I loved his character progression when he was trying to learn how to wield it. Because it first started off with this massive sword, and then he finally figured out how to shrink it down to a fighting style that he was accustomed to, and ended up becoming one of the most OP fire users in that universe. And I absolutely loved the voice who did him. I loved everything about the character. You know what? I want to throw in there Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist.
There it was.
I was waiting for
it.
He was gonna be an honorable mention. I tagged on at the very end, just like there's a couple of them that I'm gonna be like. Also, there's these guys. But anyways,
the amount of especially with his fight against Envy, when he found out that was the one who killed Hughes, the amount of rage that was in his face. I've never seen a character drawn with that much pure rage directed at one being, and I loved it. I loved Mustang as a character.
But him and Envy was a whole different beast.
The hardest debuff he got was him losing his eyesight, because he got was him losing his eyesight, because at that point he just couldn't control his fight. He was like, you know what, full power, roast everything.
Yeah,
but
I watched that Mustang Envy fight for the first time with my mom in the room, and I'm like, Envy's like serious. I have like such a emotional roller coaster of like, oh, I feel sympathy for Envy, but screw that dude, like he killed me.
I like Envy, yeah.
I kind of felt for him, and like I'm like wanting to tear up a little bit. My mom's just sitting there like, what is this? And I'm like, you wouldn't understand.
It was actually the first anime that me and my mom sat down and watched from start to finish.
Brotherhood.
And
Nice.
My last honorable mention, or my last mention as a whole, is going to be Rin Akumura from Blue Exorcist.
Ah, wow.
I saw him on the list, yeah.
That one, I love how at first he couldn't control it without unsheathing the sword, and then eventually he learned how to control it just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love the character. I love Blue Exorcist. It's awesome anime. But
Hell
that's going to be it for me on that front.
Yeah. So a couple other ones that I just kind of had laying around was one was Hiei with his Dragon of the Darkness Flame technique in particular.
I was saving Hiei for another video because I wanted to talk about him.
But Hiei is a multi-role fighter.
Right.
So he's another one of those that I would definitely say is adaptable into several different element or fighting types like that. But it's just because of his ability to wash an entire arena in black flames that are explosive to a point.
Yeah.
Like Darkness of the Dragon Flame was one of the coolest parts of the Otherworld tournament.
I think I'm at that part.
Like the Taguro fight and everything.
I think I'm at the very beginning of that tournament. Oh my god,
it's so cool.
Even the fight with Jin, the Wind Spirit.
Yeah.
I love
Jin's actually my favorite.
I
love Jin so much. He's
once it got to him,
cool.
I loved it.
Well, other than
Before
Yoko
that,
Kurama. Yoko Kurama is my favorite character in that entire show. But now we're on a totally different tangent. But yeah, what's our time? Where are we at?
Roughly about 17 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah,
then that's where we're gonna close it up here. Guys, hit the comment section. Let us know what fire characters you enjoy. There's obviously so many that we couldn't even touch, so I'm sure that there's plenty that you would like to have mentioned as well.
And let us know in the comments what element you want us to talk about. There are so many in anime that to try and cover them all, it would take us 4 or 5 hours just to go through some of them.
That's fair. And obviously we have an idea for our main elements, but if there's like fighting styles or anything in general,
exactly,
hit the comment box, let us know what you're thinking. Otherwise, like the video, and only if you did, share with your friends, and please, when you subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Because that's how the algorithm works.
Anyways, guys, this has been Weeb Soup signing off.
I wore a red shirt for Fire Day. I want that to be at the end.